And see you there. Hey guys, welcome back to yet another YouTube video. This is if you call it, you can call it whatever you want. You call this a sequel or something like that to the previous trade period deals video I did. But this is basically more than just 13 of these ones. Basically, sorry for the bad hair, by the way. And apologies for the band, by the way, because it's actually because it's a 27-degree day. I just had to get out of here. So before I start, if you see me looking down like this, that means I've got my laptop right here. I'll show you the proof. You can see the brightness of my laptop there, so that's the proof that is my laptop. So yeah, and so these, so this is the 20 it's the 20 trade period deals, I believe, will be on the final week. Now, the difference is these are just players, and they're not specifically to any club or something like that. So yeah, and these ones are based off. These players are based off of the 17 or 18 of them were based off the of a couple of articles. There's one that's called Inside Trade. 19 deals in play with 4 days to go. And there is also there's also an article on the Raw website where it's called where it's got all the trade rumors and all that. I'll link those two quite possibly down in the description. They're all great. They're all great reads. I highly recommend you reading both of them. For example, if you're a Melbourne fan or a Collingwood fan, or for me as an Essendon fan. So yeah, so I feel we should stop blabbing now and get on with these. So one more thing. Now these likely deals, some of them are based off of online sources, and partly online sources and partly my opinions. So take these with a bit of pinch of salt, basically. So let's get it started. So firstly, let's start off with the probably the most interesting one. That is Adam Treloar. Now, we all know how good Adam Treloar has been at Collingwood. We all know how good he's been. He, to be honest, I think he should have gone to Richmond at the end of 2016. Went just the 2 years after he went to Collingwood, Richmond, because Richmond won a flag. But yeah, but now there's I don't know how it's basically been been so much heat between Treloar and Collingwood. I mean, Buckley saying, he's out, and then basically he's saying that apparently the leadership group don't want him in there, apparently. But yeah, but the three clubs that are interested in him are the Western Bulldogs, St Kilda, and Hawthorn. According to AFL.com.au, St Kilda and Hawthorn are unlikely to be interested in him. The most interested is the Western Bulldogs. So the deals, the two deals here, that is, if for example, in the next 48 hours, Treloar decides, I want to go to the Bulldogs, I want to go to the Dogs. These are the two deals I believe that will happen. So this is deal one. The Bulldogs will get Treloar and a future second round pick, in my opinion. And then Collingwood will get pick 14 and a future first round pick. Or the same thing. For Bulldogs to get the same thing, Treloar and a future second round. and this is a different one. Collingwood would get 2 first round picks and a future first. So probably pick 14 will be the first one, and probably one of the picks they'll get from the Dunkley deal, which I'll get to in a bit. So those are the 2 likely deals that if Treloar does say I want to does nominate the Dogs, he wants to go to, he might do that. Next one, Jeremy Cameron. Now we all know he was requested. He nominated Geelong as his destination club. There was apparently Geelong matched a bit. I think it was a deal. The deal was from Geelong. It was about 4 million over 5 years or something, and worth about 900k a week. So yeah, I think that is about 5 years, $4 million, $4 mil a year, 4 mil over 5 years. You guys can do the maths on that. But GWS decided to match it, and I don't know why, because they've I don't know if they still have these salary cap issues. I know Collingwood has. That's why they could be open be open to Treloar going elsewhere and Jane Stevenson going elsewhere, which I'll get to that one also in a bit. So these are the 2 likely deals, I believe, from the Jeremy Cameron deal. Apparently Essendon what I heard somewhere that Essendon could, if the dealing with Geelong and GWS doesn't happen, Essendon could just swoop him up, which would be happy for me, but that's highly unlikely. That's very highly unlikely. Even though we do have the money to bring in Jeremy Cameron, I don't think he will, to be honest. I think he's only got one place only, and that's Geelong. These are the deals here. There's 2 deals here. The first deal, likely deal, would be Geelong would get Cameron and pick 31. And then GWS would get picks 13, 15, 20, and apparently what I heard on AFL.com.au is these three first round picks and a player that GWS would be interested in, and I think that player would be Asada Radaglia. I think I said that right. Bit of a tongue twister, that one. I think they'll add in Radaglia in there, and it's apparently that Brandon Parfitt is off the table as one of the players to get involved. To be involved in that deal to go to GWS, that's off the table. And then the second likely deal would be only just Cameron, and then GWS would get picks 13, 15, and Radaglia. No pick 20. Because I think Geelong, they would want a draft pick themselves for the Sean Higgins deal, which I'll also get into that one in a bit. They would want to get involved. They would want something else in return. But they don't just want Cameron. They would probably want something else also. If GWS want picks 13, 15, 20 and a player, then Geelong would want to target GWS's own draft picks. Probably it'll have to be that. So Josh Dunkley, we all know he's requested a trade to my boys over there, Essendon. Would the deal go through? Who knows? Who knows if the deal will go through? it will go right down to the wire. But these are the two likely deals. I think the first deal would be Essendon would get Dunkley and a future 4th round pick, and then the Bulldogs would get picks 6 and 7, and they would probably use one of them or both of them in the Treloar deal, probably. Who knows about that? And then, actually, though, both deals could be good in getting Treloar, basically. And the second deal was basically the same thing, but what the Bulldogs again return is different. They would get pick 6 and a future 1st round pick. Essendon's future 1st round pick. So they can use. So they'll use that pick 6 and what? So let me just check here. Got it here. So the Bulldogs draft picks currently right now, they've got 14, 41, 54 and 90. So I'll assume if that comes true, the second deal, if they get pick 6 in the future 1st, pick 6 and 14 will probably be enough to get Treloar. I think I would think if the Bulldogs are interested, would be interested in him, and Treloar would nominate the Western Bulldogs. Next one, Adam Sard. Only one likely deal. Carlton simply would get Sard, and Essendon would get pick 8 and a future 1st round pick. This time last week, I thought, no, there's no way to get it. Carlton are going to give up pick 8. There's no way. But probably I think Carlton would have to give way with that. They would have to. But if they don't, I mean, the ball's in Carlton's court, because they can basically, in the pre-season draft, for example, they could just draft Sard up, like the similar thing to the Jack Martin situation. So basically the ball's in Carlton's court. But I think if they want it to be in a trade, then basically pick 8 would have to be the one, because apparently Essendon are really targeting pick 8. They will say, yeah, pick 8 and you can have him. So basically, yeah, and I think Carlton will probably add in a future 1st round pick as well. I think that'll be enough to get him. The next one, Big Ben Brown, nominated, requested a trade to Melbourne. These are the two likely deals with him. I think Melbourne would simply get Brown, and North Melbourne would get pick 28. That's the first deal. And then the second deal would be the same, except North Melbourne would get Melbourne's future 2nd round pick. So that's the two deals in place there for Ben Brown. The next one is Orazio Fantasia. Just had to say that. But we all know he's requested a trade to Port Adelaide. I think the first likely deal, which probably highly won't happen, because Essendon are requesting a hell of a lot for Port Adelaide to get Fantasia, which Port Adelaide will get Orazio, and then Essendon will get pick 28, which is highly unlikely, as you guys have heard, as haven't lived under a rock. Or the most likely one, which is the second deal, which would be the same, but Essendon would get a 1st round pick, but I have no idea where Port Adelaide would get that from. I do not know. Maybe they could offer up their future 1st, maybe. I don't know. But to be honest, I have no idea where Port Adelaide will get that 1st round pick from. But yeah. Next one is Jaden Stevenson. Now, he hasn't... This is an interesting one. He hasn't been linked to a club as of yet. But this is the deal here for any club that is most interested in Stevenson. I think a first round pick and maybe even adding a future second round might be enough for Collingwood to consider it. I would suggest. Because of course we all know Collingwood as having salary cap issues. That's why they're considering Chalor to leave, Stevenson to leave, and a lot of Collingwood players. Well, not a lot of Collingwood players, but you know what I mean. So that's what I think Stevenson is worth in trade deal wise. Next one is Jai Caldwell. Now, I've got not one, not two, but three likely deals with this. We all know he's requested a trade to Essendon. This is the first likely deal would be Essendon will get Caldwell, and then in return the Giants would get a first round pick. The second likely deal would be the same. Instead, GWS will get a future second round pick, and then the third one will be a combined of the two. So, which would be, I think the third one will be highly likely, which will be a first round pick and a future second round, and then there'll be enough for there'll be enough for Caldwell to go to the Bombers. I don't know if Essendon will get something else other than Caldwell, like a future fourth round or a future third round. I don't know. But yeah. Then we have Alex Witherden. He from the Brisbane Lions. Now he hasn't had that much opportunity now that with Birchall and it's a very very tight group over the Brisbane Lions now that they've got Joe Danaher. So he's having it very hard to break into the Brisbane Lions lineup as of late. Late in the season. Apparently, according to AFL.com.au, the West Coast Eagles are the most interested in him. I think the likely deal would be Witherden would get pick 60. West Coast will get Witherden, and Brisbane, they would get pick 60 and a future third round pick. I don't know if Brisbane would probably trade that pick because it's a very tight group anyway. So who knows what will happen there if Witherden... he hasn't requested a trade yet, but apparently West Coast he's linked to West Coast, or West Coast is actually interested in him. Tom Phillips from Collingwood. Hawthorn, he's been linked or most interested, or Hawthorn's been the most interested, because they want a replacement for Isaac Smith, who's gone to Geelong via free agency, and of course and someone else I believe that retired. Ricky Henderson. I think it was Ricky Henderson, I believe. That he retired. So they're looking for someone, looking for a midfielder to replace Smith, replace Isaac Smith, and they've recognised probably Phillips is that one, and I believe these two deals would probably most likely get the deal over the line. Hawthorn will get Phillips. The first deal, Hawthorn will get Phillips, and Collingwood would get pick 46. And then the second deal will be the same thing, but instead Collingwood gets pick 24. It's highly unlikely that Hawthorn will offer up pick 4, but knowing Hawthorn, they'll probably might. You never know. You never know if you never go. If you never go, if you never know. Higgins. Next one is Sean Higgins. Now apparently he's been set to join Geelong. And these are the two deals which I believe will get the deal over the line. So the first deal would be Geelong would get Higgins, and then North Melbourne would get pick 20. That is if they don't offer that pick to GWS in the Cameron deal, then I would assume so. Then the second likely deal would be, again, Geelong will get Higgins, and North Melbourne would get a second round pick, which we don't know. We don't know if GWS might offer that one as well. Say, along with Cameron, we'll give you this pick, or give you this second round pick or whatever. So yeah. Next one, Tom McDonald. Apparently he was linked to Collingwood, but in recent times, Collingwood has denied this, and it seems unlikely now. But if this is a big if. This is a big if Collingwood change their mind. If Collingwood change their mind, I think the likely deal would be that Melbourne would get pick 39, and then that'll be enough for Tom McDonald to go to Collingwood. I don't think now that Ben Brown is likely to join Melbourne. That's highly unlikely. Highly likely that Tom McDonald's going to get opportunities. So he's apparently there's been no teams lately that recently that he's been linked to. Tom Hickey. He's not getting opportunities at West Coast, and Sydney is the most interested in him because, of course, they're running out of ruck stocks. Of course, of recent times with ruckman getting injured and getting knocked out and that sort of stuff. I think the likely deal would be Hickey. I think West Coast would depart with pick 62. Would part with pick 62. So West Coast get pick 62, and then that'll be enough for Hickey to go to Sydney. Peter Wright. Apparently, Peter Wright. Apparently Essendon's most interested in Peter Wright. I believe. The Gold Coast are saying, give us a future third round pick or a future fourth, and we'll consider it. And I think they will offer up their future third round, and that'll be enough to get Peter Wright to Essendon. Next one, Jackson Haitley. He requested a trade to the Crows, and I think this deal will be likely, and that is basically Crows will get Haitley, and then the Giants, they will get pick 23, which is the pick that was used in the Crouch deal, the compensation pick in the Crouch deal. I think the Crows will use that, or GWS will probably request that pick, and they'll basically give it to them. So yeah. So now the next one, there's a couple more to go. Next one is Jack Higgins. It's the same as Tom McDonald. He hasn't getting much opportunities in that Richmond side that won the premiership this year. As of in the latter half of the season, he's apparently been linked to St Kilda. But as the days go by, it's probably most likely it's still a bit 50-50 if this deal will go through, or if this trade will happen or not. I think the deal would be that this, I believe. St Kilda would get Higgins, and then Richmond, they would get pick 64 and a future second round pick. Next one is Lockie Fogarty from Geelong. Not getting any opportunities. It's had limited opportunities at Geelong. Now that with the possibility of course getting with Higgins getting in the side, and of course with Jeremy Cameron, he might get bumped out. And I think Carlton are most interested. I think the deal would be Fogarty will go to Carlton, and then Geelong would get pick 51 and a future third round pick. 3 more to go. Braden Bruce is a long time ago requested a trade to GWS. I thought this would be the first trade to go down, but it's apparently it's gone down the second week. I'm surprised that it wasn't done in the first week. But according to AFL.com.au, Melbourne looking off GWS offering up pick 44 to Melbourne to get the deal over the line, and I think they will accept that deal. So Bruce will go to GWS, and then Melbourne will get pick 44. 2 more to go. Nakai Cockatoo, the same as Bruce, a long time ago. Nakai Cockatoo, it felt like a long time ago actually. Nakai Cockatoo requested a trade to Brisbane. I thought this would be almost one of the first, probably first 5 trades to go down, but it hasn't. I think the deal would be Brisbane gets Cockatoo, and Geelong will get pick 53. And the last one is Will Brodie. Essendon have been interested in him, I think for years. Essendon's been interested in Will Brodie. And I think they will part. And I think that this deal might happen, or maybe will happen. And the Gold Coast will get the Essendon's future 4th round pick. And of course that'll be enough for Gold Coast to say, okay, there you go. We'll offer you, here you go, Essendon. There's the player. So that's the 20 players. Most likely, either 50-50 or maybe, or possibly, could be dealing some trade action in the final week. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Like this video if you liked it. Comment down below. What would you comment down below? Comment down below what your own deals would be. Would you, for Treloar, for example, would you, if you're another team, would you offer Collingwood a first round pick? Or I would like to see your opinions. And by the way, and one last thing, click the red button down there, somewhere down there, which is named subscribe, there, as well. So one last sip of Coke. Bloody beautiful. Later on today, I will be bringing out a FIFA 19 Liverpool career mode episode. As I said a moment ago, later on today. So until then, guys, I'll see you guys later.